the way home to Florence, Alabama to talk about Eddie Hinton. And we talked to Donnie Fritz, who worked with and wrote with Eddie Hinton a lot and co-wrote Where's Eddie, which the Drive-By Truckers have recorded for our new record. And we talked to Dick Cooper, who has spent a lot of time with Eddie Hinton in his life and managed him for a time and tour managed him for a time, and probably is one of the world's leading authorities on Eddie Hinton's music and life. And so we're just going to kind of find out a little bit about who this guy is or was and why his music is important to us and is important to pretty much anyone who's ever spent much time listening to it.
He was one of the first musicians to move to Muscle Shoals from other areas. He came up here in the mid-'60s and worked with a number of people here as both songwriter, guitarist, producer, pretty much across the board kind of person in the business. He did a little bit of everything.
Anyone who comes to a trucker show has probably heard, you know, an hour of Eddie Hinton every time they've ever seen the Truckers, because we generally play his music on the PA before, you know, between bands before we play, and it's usually the walkout music after the show. Tell us about Eddie Hinton.
Wow, that's a big line. They're talking about Eddie Hinton. Well, let me start from the beginning. I met Eddie when he first came here, probably in 1967, and it was a deal where we just hit it off. You know, hit it off, and writing wise and everything, you know, and so we wrote a lot of songs together and had a lot of success.
And if you've spent any time with a Staple Singers record, nobody can sing like Mavis Staples. So he locked himself in the bathroom at Muscle Shoals Sound, 3614, and stayed in there for like 3 days with a microphone and just yelling and doing stuff and completely, I think, just getting his voice to the absolute right level of raw so that he could then sing it pretty and have it still have that raw element to it. And he nails it. It's absolutely stunning. And he sang it from the bathroom, laying on the floor, the bathroom at Muscle Shoals Sound, and it's one of the magical takes of his life, which of course never came out until years after he died.
Shauna Boom Boom Yabs. This is I've been called this before, but I do believe the Staple Singers did the song first. Beautiful version, Staple Singers, Shauna Boom Boom Yab, Miss Mavis Staples. And Eddie Hinton was going to put it on an album, and he was in the studio, and this was kind of near his years of being a little lost and out of it occasionally, and decided that he was going to lock himself in the bathroom and not come out until he could sound just like Mavis Staples. So he did this. He locked himself in the bathroom for, you could probably ask some of the other guys, but rumor has it a really long time, like at least 12 hours, maybe even longer. And apparently, finally, he had a microphone sent in, I do believe, and he was apparently on the record. He recorded Shauna Boom Boom Yeah in a fetal position on the floor with the microphone, and he was convinced and satisfied that he sounded just like Mavis Staples. So it was a go. It was the take.
Where's Eddie was a no-brainer to pick for it, because for starters, we love the song, and one of my favorite things about the Eddie Hinton story, even though it's kind of a dark thing, is the fact that, you know, he wrote this song called Where's Eddie that's written from a girl's point of view, wishing she hadn't done Eddie so bad, wishing that she had been better to him when he was around, and now he's gone, and she just can't live without him, and it's just, and I love the psychology of him writing that, and or co-writing that with Donnie.
And of course we argued for about an hour. I said, why in the hell don't we call it Where's Donnie? Why Eddie? Eddie sings better. Now you know it does, you know. I said, I don't know whether by God it does or not. I like Where's Donnie?
And I'd always envisioned Shauna singing it, and I know Shauna really loved that song and everything. So at the same time, it's a huge thing to tackle. I mean, it's a really technically demanding thing to sing, and I'm just really proud of Shauna's performance on it. I think it's just stunning. So we were approached and asked if we would like to do the follow-up, and we decided to do Everybody Needs Love and Where's Eddie. And we went in the studio. We were already going in anyway. We were working on this project we've done in the last 2 years, where we've basically made 2 records kind of at the same time. And so it was the sessions that produced The Big To Do and a good portion of Go-Go Boots. And this took a couple of days to set aside just to work on the Eddie songs, and it just kind of happened really magically. And so one of my favorite parts of the whole year was recording those 2 songs.
Well, for years we've been trying to do Eddie Hinton songs, but it just never seemed right. Because he's, such an incredible songwriter. We wanted to make sure we could always do it right. I think the incarnations of the band before, we would have never been able to pull it off. Past couple of years, it's, the way the band's become this band is really great. We were able to pull those songs off, and everybody's such huge fans. That's pretty much, I don't listen to a lot of music, and it's always, if I'm gonna put something on, it's Eddie Hinton, and those are the best soul songs in the world.
We were all hearing stuff that he probably had a hand in writing and played on or produced or something, just like all those guys around there. But as an artist, a writer, or as the name Eddie Hinton, no. Up until recently, I don't know if anybody that, unless they were just, unless they knew him personally or happened to come across something, had ever heard much of him.
I'm not sure why it happened this way, but I think those 2 Eddie Hinton covers are a couple of the best performances the band's ever done, and especially the vocals from Patterson and Shauna. They're pretty great.
Eddie had a sound really just not quite like anybody. There was almost like Otis Redding. If Otis Redding met Howlin' Wolf somewhere in the middle, you have kind of what Eddie's voice sounded like. And of course, those are 2 of my favorite voices in the world. And unfortunately, I'm stuck with what I've got. So the best I could do is just really just try to inhabit the song as much as I could, and hope for the best coming out. But in doing so, I think it's probably the best I've ever sang on a record.
When Eddie performed it live, he always did it different, just a little bit here or there or something. But it always seemed to always be an emotionally charged song that he would seem to find that sweet spot when he did it that would move that particular crowd. But I'm really glad to see that it's finally got a good rendering by the Drive-By Truckers, and hopefully it'll cause Eddie to have a much wider audience.